Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, welcome to the MiniZinc Challenge 2020. And like everything in 2020, the challenge was more challenging in 2020. Not for any good reason, but it certainly has caused us difficulty. Let's go. So if you've seen the challenge before, you know how it works. We basically pick 100 instances with a 20-minute time limit, and we kind of score each instance is a vote. It's basically voting for one solver or the other, saying which solver does a better job at solving that instance. And there's 5 categories, and I guess you can see this little overlay. Single and fixed search, which is surprisingly fewer and fewer people want to support MiniZinc search, even though it's very, very simple. So we don't have many entries in there. Free search, where the solver can do it at once. Then parallel search, where you get to run on 4 threads. And then open search, where you get to have a portfolio solve is allowed. And then a local search for the few local search competitors. And so there's a Docker-based system, and basically we force you to learn Docker, which is torture and never works. And we have many, many conversations with the competitor entries, but eventually they work. And the good thing is that then we can run the competition rather efficiently nowadays using AWS. So we had 11 new benchmarks this year. So they're listed there. And then we picked 9 of the old benchmarks. And basically when we picked the old benchmarks, we used the library of instances which we've never used before in the puzzle, in the competition, except where we only have, sometimes for some benchmarks, there are only some instances which have are simple enough that some of the older solvers can find solutions. So we sort of limit it there. So we may end up using 1 or 2 instances again. One thing I'll tell you different about this year is amazing. Most of the problems from this year didn't actually use that many global constraints. So it was interesting. Normally they do. But we balance that by picking old problems which use lots of global constraints. So if we look at the globals that were actually tested this year, it's still a huge list. And all of the regular, the most important sort of global constraints are there as usual. And so here's the official contestants. So Choco 4, so FlatZingo, that's a new one. That's translation of FlatZinc to an ASP solver, and I think solved with Clasp. Jakob and Mistral coming back after a while away. And then OptiMathSat in 2 versions, the bit vector version and the integer version. So this is exactly the BV and LIA that we heard in the talk earlier today. Calling MathSat as the underlying SMT solver. OR Tools, their LCG solver. Oscar is a local search solver. PicatSat, which is translation to SAT. Six is Prolog. And Sunny CP-less, which is the portfolio solver using only some of the solvers which are official contestants. And Yuck, a local search solver for MiniZinc written in Scala. And then the unofficial contestants are all the ones controlled by our group. And there we got a new one. This is a new experimental LCG solver from our group called GEES. And the rest are the standard ones that typically run every year. And unfortunately, Andreas Schutt, who used to do the bulk of the hard work, had children and all kinds of other terrible things get in the way. And so people like me were forced to help work on do a lot of the hard work of this problem, which just reminded me how much work Andreas has done over the years. But luckily we have Jason now in our group, and he did a lot of hard work, and Guido, of course, always does a lot of hard work. So thank you for those guys. All right, so let's get to results. The fixed search category is small, as I said. So Choco, 50.45 points. Jacob FD, 71 points. Sixus FD, 106. G-Code FD, 112. And Chuffed FD 262, and they're the only ones that entered in the FD category, which means that the results are the gold to Sixus, silver to Jacob, and bronze to Choco. All right, the local search category has even fewer contestants. There's Oscar and then Yuck, IZ+, which usually wins this category. It's a bit dodgy. It's not clear that it's local search or large neighborhood search, but since we don't know how the magic IZ+ works, It usually wins this category, but it didn't enter this year. I think everyone in the company has more important things to do, probably. All right, and the free search category, which is the one where all the solvers start to compete. So if we go from the bottom, Oscar, 162, then CPC, which is the open source MIP solver, OptiMathSat with bit vectors, Yuck, OptiMathSat with integers, Sixtus, G-Code, Yuckob, FlatZingo, so there's a new solver quite high up the tree, Choco, Cplex, and that's the danger that the MIP solvers are pretty good at our problems, by the way, Mistral, PicatSat, there's Geese, the new lazy clause generation solver, Chuffed, and finally OR Tools, topping it out. So gold medals to OR Tools, silver to Picat, and bronze to Mistral. And just to show you, if we look across the different 20 problems and we just count up how many first, second, or third positions we go, almost every solver got a medal, and including some gold medals going to FlatZingo, one of the new solvers. So you've got to realize that that there is no best solver, really. And in some sense, what we're just picking is, you know, whatever class of problems we pick now is going to pick out one particular solver, although it's very clear that OR Tools is quite dominant on this year's problem challenges. All right, we also looked at the primal integral because I think this is a better way of doing it, which is just basically the area under the curve. And if we work out the primal interval, well, nothing much changes. Basically, OptiMathSat int moves ahead 2 steps. So basically that means it must be finding very good solutions early, but maybe not being able to prove optimality as well as some of the other ones. Then the parallel search category. So the good thing this year is CPC parallel version was the only parallel version which was slower than the free version. So normally half of our parallel solvers run slower than their own non-parallel versions. So we are getting better at parallelism, which is good. So if we go through, most things stay almost the same way. Oscar, of course, bumped because CPC went down. Then we get, interestingly, that the Sixtus and OptiMathSats, even though neither of them is parallel. FlatZingo, well, G-Code is very good. I mean, really takes a big advantage of parallelism. So you can see it jumps 2 paces ahead. And Choco also jumps ahead of Mistral in the parallel circumstances. And then the rest of the table ends up looking very much the same. And OR Tools parallel is certainly better than OR Tools normally. And then the medals are gold medal to OR Tools, silver medal to PicatSat, and then I have to explain why Choco didn't get a bronze medal. It's because actually Choco, there was a bug that didn't show up in the preliminary testing, and so basically Choco failed almost all the problems in their final testing, but we managed to send it to them. They gave us a fix and we reran it, and so we can rank it, but it was ineligible for medals. Why it still got a medal in the finite domain, the fixed search category, is even with its original results, since it was the last FD solver, it still gets a bronze medal because it would have got it on the original results. And the open search category, okay, so open search adds in the Sunny CP portfolio solver, and we can see where it fits. So interestingly here, the open search solver, which is allowed to use Chuffed and other powerful solvers, didn't do as well as the one which can't use any of the G12 kind of solvers, but it didn't beat OR Tools, which is the same as what happened last year, which is interesting because OR Tools is one of the things inside Sunny. But it should be noted that OR Tools is actually really a portfolio solver. It's just that it actually has a single engine, but it runs, particularly in parallel mode, it's running a core-guided solver, it's running a MIP more MIP-like solver, it's running CP solver. So it is acting like a portfolio solver, but it fits in the single engine category, so it can't compete in the other categories. So gold medals to OR Tools, Sunny, less open, and PicatSat par. All right, so in summary, we had another dominating year for OR Tools. So again, they've picked up most of the medals. And of course, the advantage they have is that they've got learning, LCG, and they've got MIP, or at least LP solving inside there. And so they get a broad value across lots of problems. The nice thing was that we got some new solvers that were able to win medals on individual problems. So that's nice that people can come in with a new approach and still be very, 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 very powerful on particular problems. We would love to have more portfolio solvers, more local search solvers, and more FD solvers. Indeed, one of the things that we would love to make MiniZinc's search language more expressive, because in some sense, MiniZinc is kind of removing half the benefit of CP, right? CP is this fantastic high-level modeling language, but we also have programmable search, which is very useful. It's not the whole world of just doing autonomous search. And in some sense, we only have a limited programming search in MiniZinc, but we can't even get most of our solver writers to support that limited search. So it's a bit hard to try and extend it. And it was the most parallel solvers would say that finally we had the solvers, the parallel solvers are actually better than their non-parallel versions. So that's good. So please send us more real world benchmarks. We had a few from external sources this year, not as many as we'd like. We'd prefer to be running the competition with 10 new real world benchmarks. That would be great. We do have some every year from various people. We're very grateful. Thank you very much. But if you have anything that you can give us anonymized or whatever, that would be really useful. So congratulations to the winners. There they are all in the thing. And remember to enter your solver next year. And in particular, send us some problem instances, because finding 10 new problems every year is a challenge. And I think maybe this year when everyone was very busy, if in the academia, just trying to get their courses online, or if they were in industry just trying to keep their job, it was a very challenging year. And final word, so go away and learn MiniZinc if you haven't already. There's 3 Coursera courses about MiniZinc, and in fact, now they've just been made into a Coursera specialization. So if you want to give Coursera some money, you can get a certificate saying how good you are at MiniZinc and CP. And please make all your benchmarks available on MiniZinc if you can, and add them to CSP. And I'll just tell you also that MiniZinc 2.5.0 will be released on the 14th of September. And that's about all I have to say. So I'm very happy to take questions.